Well, folks, the Padres have entered the trade market, and we finally get the first deal of this trade deadline for the Padres. They acquire Jason Adam from the Tampa Bay Rays, and they're giving up a decent amount, and I see a lot of people really concerned about it. Dylan Lesko, Homer Bush, and JD Gonzalez. Obviously, the big name in that one is going to be Dylan Lesko, but a lot of people are really concerned over the fact they gave up Lesko for a relief pitcher. Now, you want to look into Jason Adam a little bit before we get into anything, and then I'll kind of break down why I don't think it's as bad as some people feel about giving up Dylan Lesko. But let's pull up Jason Adams' Savant page right here, and you're gonna see this dude's good. He's been good for a long time too. After this year, he has 2 more years of control. He doesn't cost that much. And look, dude, he's been lights out the past 3 years basically for and in his career too. I mean, in 7 seasons, he has a just over a 7 or a 3 ERA with just over a 1 WHIP. That's that's dominant. This year he hasn't even been like as good as he was in 2022 the last couple years, but still sub 3 ERA, under a 1 WHIP combined for this time, and he's a really good pitcher. Mid 90s fastball. This changeup and sweeper right here are disgusting. If you go on Twitter or just kind of look up like YouTube highlights for some cut ups on him, it is really, really nasty. The other reason why I like this trade or like this acquisition, this is a guy we talked about. We talked about Pete Fairbanks on the Rays, but he's a bigger name. You guys got to realize that. Like Fairbanks has closed out games and stuff. This dude, that's not Jason Adam. Isn't I mean, he closed a few games, but like he's not. He hasn't been their primary closer. He is a righty, so I guess that's kind of a concern. But one of the reasons why I actually like this trade a lot is that you look at his righty lefty splits, and he's actually been a little bit better against lefties. So probably throw some people off, but he's actually has a little bit better splits against lefties. So you're putting him in there, and it's like maybe not every time you're gonna have him. If there's 2, 3 guys, like you might still put in Yuki Matsui, Morahone, whatever. But if you're going up and you have to, let's say you're facing 2 righties and a lefty, you're not like concerned like, oh, dude, this guy's really bad against lefties. He's actually better against lefties, and I feel like that's probably because of that sweeper he's throwing, and probably just like the spin action on that changeup as well. But overall, I mean, you're getting a high end bullpen piece. You're getting a high end bullpen piece that you're gonna keep for the next 2 years, most likely. So this is a massive, massive upgrade for the on the MLB roster for the Padres. Now, a lot of people are concerned. You gave up Dylan Lesko, right? And Dylan Lesko is technically, I think, if you look at the Padres farm system, he's their third rated guy or was their third rated guy. He's a top 100 prospect, everything like that. But guys, Dylan Lesko has a almost a 6.5 ERA. He started 16 games. He hasn't finished 70 innings in that time. He's given up a lot of hits, a lot of home runs, a lot of walks. He's walked 52 guys in under 70 innings in 69.2 innings. He's also 1-9. Like he's not able to go super deep in these games. He has a 1.5 whip. He's awful stats. And I get it. He's 20 years old, but he's still struggling. He had Tommy John. It's not like they drafted him and like he was a guy that they drafted and they're like, dude, this guy could be a massive hit. And clearly, like what a lot of fans are feeling like is like, oh, the Padres gave up a lot. The MLB didn't feel that way. Like that's what we just learned. The MLB did not feel that way. I still wish that Dylan Lesko is successful on the Tampa Bay Rays organization, but it's not like this guy was like just balling out and playing super, super well. So I think that's something that people need to talk about with this. Homer Bush Jr. I don't really know how he would have his spot on the roster. He kind of just feels like one of those guys that, you know, he he was like not a great hitter, and that's the thing. Like he's kind of a defensive oriented player, but fourth round pick last year. But like overall, I don't think I think what they're giving up is a little bit because you're getting a reliever. But if you're gonna go and get a high end reliever, you're trading a guy that's struggling. That's your number one piece in this. That's dramatically struggling. That struggled last year. That's coming off of Tommy John. So if you look at the context a little bit, you don't just look at like where he's ranked in the farm. It's like, okay, well, this guy's not playing up to that prospect ranking that he had early on in the season, preseason rankings. And last year, he wasn't that good either. I mean, let's see his numbers last year. He had over a 5 ERA last year. He played 12 games, pitched 33 innings. Once again, 22 walks. Like, 20 hits. Like he's struggled, guys. Like he's been bad the first 2 years in the minor league system for the Padres. And maybe they just felt like, look, either way, like we don't think we're gonna end up getting enough out of him. And the Rays are looking at and the Rays are able to develop guys really well, and they go, well, maybe we can, and that's why the deal gets done. In this case, they're just like, we're gonna take a swing on it. This is a reliever. We're selling a little bit if you're Tampa Bay, which is also kind of odd because Tampa Bay's still in the playoff mix. And they already traded Rosarena. They're already trading a lot of their guys. But overall, I mean, the biggest takeaway from this is you were getting a dominant righty bullpen arm. You just made the bullpen that much better. Next steps, you still need to go add a number 5 starter. You still need to go add a pitcher. Potter's back in on those Blake Snell rumors. Exciting stuff there. But they're gonna get some. They need to get someone, and they still do have the ammo. I think we might see them not give up that much to have someone where they're maybe eating some money or doing something like that. Keep in mind, Darvish's contract, they're not going to be paying his contract in full this year. There's been some like stuff about their TV deal where they're kind of freeing up luxury money. So there's been some stuff to kind of give them a little bit of financial relief. And they also, a couple of those trades earlier this year, I think it was the Arise trade, they didn't end up eating all of his money. So there's been some instances where their like the money, they have some money available, and it's almost kind of freed up as this year has gone on. But yeah, that's kind of the main takeaways. I'll be going live later tonight. Maybe I won't go tonight. Maybe we'll go on Monday, but we'll be going live kind of talking about this hot streak because final game against the Orioles is about to happen in like an hour or so. And we're gonna hopefully we're gonna get some more trades. We'll see how that goes. But thank you guys all for listening. Promo code Friar Talk for Underdog helps the channel a ton if you want to do that. But those are kind of my initial reactions. I think if I had to grade the trade, probably give it a B, right? B, like you're giving up a decent amount, but you're getting a pretty good arm. I think it's a B. I think it's a solid trade. I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think the Padres got like fleeced in the value of it. I think it's just like, yeah, they slightly overpaid, but it's like they're going after a guy that they think is really good. So overall, solid trade. Not great for either side. Like it's just solid across the board. But thank you all for listening, and we'll go live. Talk to y'all soon. See ya.